And hello everyone, welcome back, or welcome to your very first actually, Tkinter tutorial. So in this tutorial we'll be covering the GUI library Tkinter for Python, for making basic GUIs in Python. So what do you need to know in order to follow along with this tutorial? Well, you need to know some basic Python. I have an entire course on Python on my channel, link is in the description, and there will probably be a full crash course coming out soon as well. If that is out, I'd recommend you go watch that instead of the full playlist, but it's up to you. Anyhow, so let's see if it works. If we can say from tkinter import it does everything. So from tkinter import everything. If we can say that, now we can run this program. There we go. Okay, if it runs without giving you any errors, it means you have Tkinter installed and whatnot. Great. So let's create our first application. So I'm going to create a variable, call it root, and make it equal to tk. Now tk is what we get from Tkinter. So yeah, you can use tk. You don't need to put it inside of root. I just like using the root as the name you use whenever you reference to tk, because this will be the root of the application. This is where everything will start. So if you then say root.main loop, then in 3 lines of code, you have created your first application. Let's see. Boom, here we go. Yours may look white or a different color depending on your theme. Mine is a dark color because I use dark theme. So yeah, but yeah, so there you go. Now you've created your first application. Now what I want us to do is, I want us to, or wait, before we get to that, you can always do this. It doesn't matter. I just put it inside of root because I don't like having to type brackets and a capital T whenever I try to access that. So it's just a really massive pain, but you don't have to do it. You can still run it without a problem. Anyhow, so I want to put hello world on the window. So what we can do is we can use a label. A label is an inbuilt component inside of Tkinter, which is just a piece of text. So we can just say my label, or my label. I don't like camel case. We can make that equal to label. And label is yet again something we get built in from Tkinter. So we can just say label since we imported everything. And here we can say root. If you didn't specify root here, you'd have to say tk and in those brackets. Anyhow, so that's just saying on what window, on what, yeah, that is basically the window, because you can have multiple windows later, and keeping track of the root window can be really helpful as well. And then you can just say the text, and I want the text to be hello world. And there we have created our first widget. Although to put it on the screen, we'd have to say my label.pack, and this will put it on the screen for us. So if I were to run it, then there we go, hello world. Really tiny window. Oh wow, there we go. So there, hello world. Of course, you didn't have to put it inside of a label, but it's good practice because you might want to access it later. But if you didn't put it in a label, you could have just done it all in 1 line. Then in 4 lines of code, you have not only created a window, but you have put text on that window. And that is why people love Python so much, because so little typing for so much. I believe on C++ it's about 30 lines of code to do what we did right here, depending on what library you use, but in general it would be about 30 lines of code. Same about with Java, where with Python it was 4 lines of code. And yeah, so that is your first application with Tkinter. I hope you all enjoyed and will follow along with the rest of this course. And I'll see you all again in the next tutorial.